Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you could click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. So the mileage with my new turbo is 23. However, reset it since I have some newfound power, and we'll see what it is in a couple of days. Made it back. Time to get to work. Yesterday I was replacing valve stem seals and realized I needed to lap a few of the valves, so I'm lapping valves now. They just didn't seem to have the contact that they should have, so here I am. I'm going to pull these last two exhaust valves, clean those up, lap them. Then I'm going to do the intake valves. I'm not too concerned with the intake valves. I don't think they replaced those, but I'm pretty sure they replaced all of these exhaust valves by looking at those pistons. So let me get to work on these. The hazy part is the part, should be a perfect seat with the valve, and that's about half of the seat on that one. And that one is about 70% of the seat, and up here it's about half the valve has got the matted area. That's what's lapped and seated, and on that one you got more of it is matted surface, probably about 70%. So I trust we won't have no issues with any valves burning anytime soon. Somebody put a stamp in there, like a little seal. Maybe that's the shop that rebuilt this head and put these exhaust valves in there. But we're going to clean up the bottom of this cylinder head, put these two valves in there, replace all the valve stem seals on the intake valves, and get this head installed. We got to keep rolling. I'm not sure why this one intake valve got dark when all the rest are light, but it does look like it had an exhaust leak here, leaking up the back of the head. So that was a mess. Hopefully we'll fix that. Finally got all the valve stem seals done. About to clean up this head surface on the bottom, top, cam cover bottom block, and replace that exhaust manifold. Really, this exhaust manifold is held up by 4 bolts on the turbo, and sometimes it rests on the corner of that head. So if I knock these 4 bolts loose on this turbo, this exhaust manifold should come off, but it may have a support. Oh yeah, it's got that support down there that's holding it up too. Let me knock those 2 bolts off of that bracket. Alright guys, there's a couple things I need to talk to y'all about. And one is you guys getting ripped off on thinking that you're buying Japanifolds. I already have a video about this, but let me make a quick video clip about this so you guys can quick get ripped off on these Japanifolds. Now, supposedly, the Japanifold has a little bit different performance than the HOWR exhaust manifold. Not that any of you guys will know the difference. It'd be the difference between you doing a 1/4 mile and most of you 13.2 seconds, or making the 1/4 mile in 13.2 seconds. Unless you're pushing 400 or 500 horsepower, I doubt you'll know the difference in performance. However, the main difference is in the sound. They say the HOWR exhaust manifold sounds more like a truck, where the Japanifold sounds more like the Volvo 5-cylinder. Whatever. Most of your sound coming out of your muffler, not all this. Anyway, let me tell you how to tell the difference by a glance, because you guys are all mixed up on this. This is the exhaust manifold, the stock manifold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cylinder. You see cylinder 1 and cylinder 4 is dumping into here together. This is the stock manifold. The big difference is the opening here. As you can see, this has a lot of white in it because it was dumping coolant, bad head gasket. Anyway, this Y is kind of flush with the manifold mating surface to the turbo flange. When you flip it over, it says Volvo on the back. The Japanifold looks just like this, except these ports are bigger. Instead of Volvo on the back, it says Japan. And on the front, this hole is bigger and this Y connection is deeper down into the manifold. But it has this shape, this same general shape, where number 1 cylinder dumps in with number 4 here. Looks just like this, except it says Japan on the back. This opening bigger, exhaust ports openings are bigger, and this is sunk down into that hole, like the R manifold. Now my guy here was told that this was a Japanifold. It's not. It's an R exhaust manifold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of the runners sweep toward this opening. This opening on this R exhaust manifold is bigger, and the ribs are sunken down in there. Japanifold sunken down in there like that, but this opening is bigger on the Japanifold. The back of this R manifold says Japan on the back instead of Volvo. That's why people are being sold this manifold like it's a Japanifold. It's not a Japanifold. This is an R exhaust manifold. The Japanifold looks like this. Shaped like this, little bit bigger openings, has Japan here. Has this shape to it, not this shape to it. R exhaust manifold, stock T5 manifold. Japanifold will have a bigger hole. This be sunken down, and the back of it, instead of Volvo, would say Japan. Just like the R manifold says Japan on the back. But again, the R manifold shaped like this with all of your runners sweeping down, and the Japanifold is shaped like this with 2 of the runners going up and the other 3 going down. Hope that makes sense. Another thing I want to talk to you guys about. LKQ out here in California, probably a lot of the other country too, has gone crazy, lost their mind with their prices. Their prices are equivalent to Rock Auto's new prices and probably Parts Geek, stuff like that. Guy here needed some seats real bad for his T5R. He tried to pull the seats out of that R, take them up front. They told him they were over $300 for 2 seats, over 150 bucks a piece. That's a shame for some 26, 28-year-old seats. I've been accustomed to paying 75 bucks a piece for a seat, power seat. They're double. That's bad business. I bought a bunch of stuff the other day. You guys seen it. The ticket was over $600. It's ridiculous. They charged me extra for the cam cover, nickel and diming me, bent rim, you know, all this stuff. It's bad. The pricing is bad. We don't have much choice. If you know of other salvage yards, I mean, they're literally charging salvage yard pricing where the salvage yard pulls the part for you. I think that's too much for a U-pull. That yard is filthy. I think there's an EPA violation at the yard I was at, hitting that 850 right. Anyway, I said all that to say this. In protest for the high prices, if you got to go to the yard to get some things, Go get what you need. And then take parts out of surrounding vehicles, whatever you could carry up there. And when they give you the price of everything, get what you gotta have and leave those extra parts there in protest of high prices. Say, man, that's too high. I can't talk myself into buying it. Leave that stuff that you don't need up there to register. They take that stuff and throw it in the trash. They would rather throw stuff in the trash than to give us decent pricing. It's sad. Why are they charging $150 for a car seat? Come on, man. Old beat up seat. They don't care if it's torn or not. You want that seat, $150 a piece. I say, in protest, take parts up there you don't need. Let them ring that stuff up. Let them take it back off the receipt. Buy what you gotta have. Leave $200-300 worth of stuff up there at the cash register, and let them throw that stuff in the trash. Now, I'm not telling you to take good Volvo parts up there that somebody might need, but pick parts off of the Chevrolets, the Audis, the cars we don't need parts from. We're Volvo people. We ain't trying to throw a bunch of Volvo parts in the trash, but I'm not opposed to it when the prices are ridiculous. So that's the only way I could think that maybe get them to get more reasonable with the price. When they start leaving stuff on the table, or we could just, man, really, other parts of the country, I don't even go to LKQ because the price is too high. It's ridiculous. So if there was a way that we could just get all the junkyard attendees together and just protest them for a week or two, just don't even buy their stuff for a week or two, maybe they'll get those prices down. Or instead of buying parts from you, pull and pay, get that stuff off of eBay or somewhere like that, or another junkyard where they're giving you service for those high prices. Man, it's sad. Then they charge extra for any warranty at all. I had to void all the warranties on my stuff just to get out of there on a decent price. Man, it's ridiculous. So that's my thoughts. If you want to protest the high prices of LKQ salvage yard and these places where the prices are high, other than that, I don't know what to tell you. So hope you can find what you want. Appreciate you guys watching. Fight the powers that be. And let me get back to work. Get this exhaust manifold on here. So I pulled the exhaust manifold. I'm going to get this bracket out of the way because I don't think that our exhaust manifold needs that. It's got two 10mm screws on that bracket holding that to the block. I'm going to drop that and put this our exhaust manifold on here. After lunch has arrived. Clean up this water tube. I've never seen a water tube crusty like that. Brush off this exhaust manifold, clean off the top of this piston after I roll that piston up to TDC with this little wire brush, and then I'll be drying out these head bolt things, clean off top of this block, and be ready to drop this head on. Got the pistons cleaned off as much as I want. I oiled the cylinder walls with a rag so they're not dry when we go to start. I cleared all the holes for the head bolts down there. I put the crank on the mark. It is set. I think we're going to redo this water pump and tensioner and idler. Might as well do that stuff now while it's easy to reach. The water pump had the black gasket on there, no name. However, it left very little residue on the block, so I was able to get that cleaned off pretty easy. No name brand on this water pump at all. I don't see no identifying mark on it. It held up as long as it did, and that's how much of the black gasket stuck to the block. So we're going to go ahead and put a Asian pump on there like we should. There's something on there. Let me see if I can hit that with a wire brush, see what it shows. And there's the belt with the cracks in it. Somebody used one of these rubberized intake manifold gaskets. Left almost a whole sheet of that rubberized material on the head. I had to clean that off. Then those are the stock bolts for the intake manifold. And if you have the IPD intake spacer, you need longer bolts. I think the bolts that secure the cam cover down are the right ones to use. So I'm going to swap these intake manifold gasket bolts out for those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Spacers had them godforsaken intake manifold gaskets on as well. To slice those off with a razor, being extra careful not to dig into the plastic, and then get it smooth, scrape it clean. Got this inner timing cover on. Man, that was fun getting that bolt down there. Right there. But I got it. And now I'm ready to put the rest of the timing parts in here. And that's probably going to call it a day. Get the water pump on, the tensioner on, the idler on, timing belt in position. That's going to take up the rest of my time for the day. Got the timing stuff on, holding the timing belt cover in place. Next step, do the PCV, and then wipe everything down, bolt the head on, and go from there. But we're going to knock it off for the day and clean up this mess and get back with it tomorrow. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.